Hello, welcome to our 2016 webinar series, Modern ERP. I'm Ruthie Sloan, Marketing Specialist for Revolution Group, and I'll be your host for our discussion today. I have a few housekeeping items to go over. We will be recording this session to post on our website, so if you would like to share today's information or revisit it, you will be able to do so. Also, we will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar today. So please feel free to submit your questions throughout the presentation. Just type them in the control panel on your screen. We will do our best to answer all of the questions at the end. I'm pleased to welcome Tony Brown with EG Industries and Revolution Group's Jennifer Callister as they discuss modern manufacturing in the cloud. For those of you who don't know us, Revolution Group is a Central Ohio-based technology solutions provider founded in 1995. Our partnerships with Plex, Salesforce, and Microsoft allow us the expertise and resources necessary to facilitate our customers' growth. We have been extremely successful in helping our customers leverage technology to revolutionize their supply chains and improve their businesses. Tony Brown is the Director of Business Systems at EG Industries. In his role, he is responsible for the upgrade of network infrastructure and has led and supported implementations of their ERP system software at 9 manufacturing locations, moving EG Industries from old, outdated IT and IS architecture to a cloud-based infrastructure solution. On our staff, we are privileged to have ERP consultants, custom developers, and ERP analysts with years of manufacturing and supply chain experience. Jennifer Callister is an ERP consultant with Revolution Group and has years of leadership experience in finance, business process improvement, and ERP system selection, deployment, and optimization. It is my pleasure to introduce Jennifer Callister. Ooh.
And my whole presentation, Ruthie.
Not sure what happened there. We jumped ahead for a bit.
Thanks for the intro, Ruthie, and thank you to everyone who's joining us as well. As Ruthie said, my background is in executive leadership, project management, and finance. I started with Revolution Group just under 2 years ago. Prior to manufacturing, I was in the technology industry. Specifically, I was the controller for a cloud-based software company. At the technology company, we were always researching the newest apps, the latest software, and we had the fastest hardware. We sort of thought of ourselves as the cool kids, always knowing what was going on in the modern world. So upon joining Revolution Group and entering the manufacturing world, although I was thrilled watching state-of-the-art technology operate, I love seeing presses the size of my house basically bend steel and watching robot arms throw around sparks like Megatron. I didn't see a lot of technology when it came to the front of the office. There was so much technology around machinery, tools, engineering, and design for the actual production of the products themselves, but there was a true lack of technology in the realm of managing the business itself. I saw and I continue to see lots of manual processes, Excel spreadsheets, various software used in different departments, and a lot of people spending time digging for data they need to make important decisions. Worse yet, when the data seems to be non-existent, some people in companies just guess. We won't name names here, mostly for legal reasons. The good news is that even though there are huge gaps in information and efficiency within the companies I happen to be visiting, most are making the decision to head down the road of a cloud-based software. So I can see lots of these gaps being filled and have seen many happy customers over the past 2 years. So today we'll learn a little bit about the benefits of bringing your manufacturing business up to speed with technology and the benefits that cloud-based software can bring you. So in addition to my own knowledge and research, last year Gartner released a report called Strategic Roadmap for Postmodern ERP. That title may or may not make sense to you, but the report basically defines priorities your company needs to set in order to stay in line with current market trends. Specifically, it defines what new technologies you need to know about and what you need to focus on. The biggest topic here was, no big surprise, implementing a cloud-based ERP software. So the report emphasized these 2 steps. Number 1, they said that you need to review and update your current ERP strategy. And number 2, you should be adopting cloud technology. I personally believe these steps not only help your company become more efficient and cost effective, but they are vital to your company to remain competitive. So we'll move on to learning about the benefits and advantages to moving all your critical systems out of your offices, out of your internal data centers, which may or may not be just a storage closet somewhere in your office, you know who you are, and then moving it up into the cloud. So the goals of today's webinar, by the end of this presentation, you'll be able to, number one, give an assessment of your current ERP or software system. Number two, know what features are available within just modern ERP. And then number three, know what your company should look for in order to make an informed decision. So I'm just going to throw in a disclaimer here. Although a lot of the information that I'm providing is directed at CIOs and technical leaders, if your head is already swimming with acronyms and technologies, don't worry. I believe that any decision maker within an organization should really be aware of the shift from desktop single-use installed software to more modern utilities, so I'll go easy on you when it comes to the tech speak. So let's get back to those two steps that the Gartner report emphasized. The first one was review and update your ERP strategy. So I have it up here. So for those of you who do not know, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, which is a process software that allows a business to manage activities. So that's simple enough. The activities that are tracked include both back and front office transactions. So modules, or basically areas within the software, can range from shop floor to human resources, shipping to receiving, quality to accounting. So when you're reviewing your ERP, you must first ask yourself, what are all the systems that we're currently using and for what purposes? So you'll want to make a list of all the gaps within your current software and what benefits that you would like to retain if you switch to a new one. You definitely want to interview your end users, and you want to make sure that you know what day-to-day issues that they're having in the software and what activities that they're transacting, because you don't want to overlook important details. Then you want to think outside the box a little bit. So in a perfect world, what would be great if your ERP could handle? What areas or modules would you like to cover? An example of this would be maybe our plant would love to have full traceability from finished goods all the way back to purchased components after we produce. So when your assessment of the current system is complete, you'll start looking at some new solutions. So the next part is what other systems are available. So now that you've analyzed your own system, you're going to be moving on to what systems are available. You'll be doing a complete analysis of what systems are available in general, as well as what's specific to your market. You're going to ask other people in your industry what software they use and what rave reviews or deep concerns they have about the specific software. You'll want to just kind of cruise around on the software provider's website, set up a call with the sales rep just to be able to get all your questions answered. And then last, you're going to want to just pay close attention to your benefit and gap analysis and compare to the benefit and gap analysis you did of all the current systems. So if you're not quite sure where to start on your analysis, by the end of this presentation, you'll know what qualities a great cloud ERP have and what benefits might be beneficial to your company. So I put in this joke because you cannot watch a television show or shop online without hearing or seeing the buzzword cloud in at least one commercial or ad. If we have some CIOs or technical people on the line, you know what I'm talking about. To put it simply, cloud is just a fancy way to say computer sharing resources via the internet instead of having local computers and devices handling data and applications. So when we're talking about switching to an ERP cloud system, we mean that instead of ordering a software disk, then installing it on your desktop and managing it on your computer and or on some in-house servers, you will be using what's called software as a service, or SaaS, and I'm pretty sure some of you have heard that term. ERP cloud systems are types of SaaS and are hosted by a service provider and made available to you over the internet. You basically just go online and the software is there. So back to Gartner's second step in actually adopting cloud integration technologies, you need to be informed about what makes a successful ERP cloud system. So I've defined 9 barometers in which you can measure any system against to see if the software selected has what it takes. So they're listed here, but we're going to go into each in depth on the next slides. So the first one is network and configuration, which is basically how do you set it up and how do you access it. So the first one is access via the internet. I sort of said earlier that instead of having the software on your own computer, you access your information via the internet using a login from different devices. The devices could include just a regular desktop, a laptop, tablets, and even cell phones. The benefit is you can work from any device that is compatible. If you forgot to check on something before you left work, if your company allows access to you, for you to check on it from home, you can check on that from home. Now, whether or not you actually believe checking on work at home is a benefit, that's up to you to decide. The second part is installation. There virtually is none. You basically access the system via a browser, just like any other website. In many instances, all you need to access the system is a URL, which is basically a website address, and a login. Sometimes you need to configure your browser to allow pop-ups and update some security settings. Many ERP providers will provide either an instruction sheet or an auto configuration for your browser, so you don't have to figure it out yourself. And then just a reminder, your data is in a data center and not on your desktop. Another benefit is you can save the URL in your browser, in your quick links, and then all you have to do is remember your password. It's pretty easy. Now, even though the installation of the system itself might be easy, but learning how to use the system and deploying the system throughout your whole plant, maybe even hundreds of employees, that timing can vary greatly depending on your solution. Some solutions are highly customizable. So when we're just saying it's easy as far as installation, it's easy just because it's via a web browser. So the second measure is availability, which is the amount of time a system is working at its full capacity during the time in which it's required to do so. So basically there's no business hours. The portal door is always open. So as stated above, you can work from whenever, wherever, in any time zone, 24/7, and you don't have to worry about your company network becoming unavailable. Your data is stored in a data center, not on your premises. Second point is instantaneous availability and responsiveness. You can access your data right away without delay. Response times are as quick as a website loading, and all employees are running transactions at the same time. So you don't have to wait for software upgrades, you don't have to wait for data to load, or for someone to get to work in order to log in to see their data. All of your information is there right away as long as you log in and as long as you have the permission to see what others see. Uptime, I'm sure you've heard this, same theme as above. Many SaaS, software as a service, options offer 99.98% uptime, meaning that their servers are down or going through maintenance less than 0.02% of the time. So this is usually a lot higher percentage than what your success rate would be if you had your own server storage facility. When your service is down, when you're handling it on your own, you're down until somebody can fix the issue. So you want that uptime to be as high as possible. Then last is real-time data. Everything happens in real time. Again, you don't have to wait for uploads, data imports, or rollover. The data comes in. If somebody scans in a product at 11:30 p.m., you'll see that at 11:30 p.m. So next is manageability, which is the level of human effort required to keep that system operating. So SaaS systems are managed by the service provider. You basically only need one in-house employee, depending on the size of your company, who knows how to use the system thoroughly as far as security and permissions. But you no longer need somebody who maintains the hardware for your network, because other than your laptops and computers, you're not having somebody manage servers or major data center infrastructure. Updates are done system-wide and most often happen to all users at once without any input from you. So again, you shouldn't have to order upgrade disks or have somebody in-house have to upgrade your software for you. You should be getting the latest release of the software as soon as they release it without having to wait for updates. When you log into the website, that should be the latest release. Monitoring is very important. The service provider monitors the system for you. They are going to protect from hacks. They're going to watch the uptimes, make sure that it's 99.98 or above, and then they're going to be looking at the system peaks and valleys. So you basically have somebody watching out for you. One element that I think is pretty important is user communities. Many ERP solutions have groups or communities where users can discuss the software. Employees of the software actually log on and help answer questions. They post training documents. They have blog posts, webinars, videos, training instructions. So you basically should be able to have an access of a library of information to you. And then also you can connect to others within your industry using the user community. So hardware and software. The CFOs like this, you're going to be decreasing your expenses, so you no longer need a hardware server infrastructure for your storage. And you also can save on paper because most of these systems are pretty much paperless unless you have employees that still like holding paper in their hand, which some do. So you don't have to update your hardware every 3 years. You're going to save in admin costs, so you don't have to basically print every document that you have on your floor. Back to software licenses, I've said it a few times, but you don't need to manage physical software disks. You don't have to have a library of software disks. Users should be able to be assigned online without having to install something on their computer. Consolidation, we talked about sometimes companies have multiple systems across many departments. A good ERP will reduce the amount of total software that you use for all aspects of your business. So a good ERP will have a wide range of modules for different departmental use. Of course, that decreases expenses in maintaining different licenses of different software. And the most important part is consolidation lets you see all the data together to be able to use it and analyze it as a whole. And then another benefit of hardware software for modern ERP is advanced technology. Some ERP systems allow for the ability to use some of the most latest technology, such as apps for your tablets and cell phones. Some even offer compatibility with some crazy stuff like wrist and ring scanners, location trackers, and voice technology. So what kind of benefits would you get from that? One of the cool things is if an employee has a ring scanner or a wrist scanner and they're in an inventory location, the system will actually know what location they're in and they won't have to enter in some manual transactions. So basically for ease of use and for preventing errors. The fifth measure is storage and retention. So worries about how much space you have on your server or how much space you have on your hard drive are no longer necessary. Everything that is in your system, all your files, all of your transactional data, that's all stored on a computer in a data center in the cloud. So you don't have to worry about running out of room or having to buy more space depending on your solution. Data retention, very important. Your data should always be there, and you should be able to reference transactions that happened 10 years ago. If cloud was a thing 10 years ago, you should be able to look back 10 years and look at all of your transactions. So as long as your ERP provider keeps your transactional historical data, you should have a complete history of your business. I'm going to get a little Debbie Downer here for a second to talk about disaster recovery, but things do happen. So your service provider should have an emergency plan. So we're talking about things like fireproofing, making sure that they have a high level of security. You need to rest easy that your data is being protected. And to go along with that is redundancy. Most data centers back up their network and or data in redundant data center. And what I mean is if the data center holding your data is in California and catches on fire, your software provider might also back up your data in New York. That way you're not losing your uptime, and that way you're not losing your transactional data. So this kind of leads into the security part of this, which is that all users would have a unique login and password, and basically any login or username should be able to be activated or inactivated immediately if the employment status changes. Along with that is time stamping, so the system should be able to time stamp transactions, which should include the person's name, date, and time. So if somebody entered something in the system incorrectly, management can be able to log in and see who created the issue, go to that person to help resolve the issue. I see on the floor a lot that this reduces errors because you can't finger point anymore because the errors become pretty evident to where the root cause is. The next one is IP restrictions, which sounds a little bit more complicated than it is. It's basically your computer street address. So some ERPs allow restricting and allowing access from different locations. So what does it do? It basically prevents things like people clocking in from home on their break, or from allowing people to see data when they're not at the office. So conversely, you can allow access as freely as you want, and you can restrict as much as you want. Permissions and roles are really important. Users should be able to be grouped in security roles, where you can assign a group of employees to a certain work center but restrict others from other work centers. The CEO may have access to every module, but maybe the accounts payable clerk can only see the invoicing and payment screen. So number 8 is scalability. So sometimes there's data spikes. The service provider might see peaks and valleys within all the users using the data, depending on time of day, transactional data, seasonality, things like that. So the service provider is in charge of making sure that across the board and within your own system that it can handle your load of peaks and valleys. So you shouldn't have to worry about lag time due to busy times of the day or because someone in another department is bogging down the system. That should not occur. Utilization. If you have the ability to add, delete users, you should have the ability to add and delete users as you need them. So if you expand your users by 10 or 50 or 100, or if you're opening up shop in a brand new country, your ERP system should be able to scale up and down as your business does. And then the last here is just platform. So due to ERP cloud solutions being accessible via browsers, so like Internet Explorer or Firefox or Google Chrome, they're available cross-platform as long as you can access the internet. So that means you can access it via Mac or PC, whatever platform you're using. And the final slide here is regarding business management, which I think is one of the most important things about cloud ERP. The first is inventory management. So when your data is available in real time, decisions can be made based on today's data and not just when you take physical inventories. So obviously you're going to see a cost savings, so you don't have to purchase way too much inventory, and you also will avoid having errors where you run out of inventory because you know what's on hand at any time. You're also going to see a decrease in manual processes, and as we know, manual processes equal human error. So with everything happening online and with the assistance of scanners, printers, computers, working alongside with your employees, there's less room for error. You're also going to see a reduction in the usage of the quote-unquote crystal ball. So you're going to have real reporting right now, forecasting, budgeting, ordering, sales, financials, production planning. All of that can be seen while accessing and analyzing your system's data. Another benefit should be customer and supplier portals. So your key suppliers and key customers should also have a way to access your system if you can allow them a permission to just see their information. So you can have your suppliers printing your labels on the products before they ship them to you, or you can put customer labels on product going out the door. You can make sure that you're on the same page as far as orders and releases and use EDI, information data exchange between your different companies, whether it's supplier or customer or just in between your specific plants. The next is KPIs, key performance indicators. So again, scheduling, sales and CRM, shipping, quality, finance, sales, maintenance, I could go on. Everything will be pulled in from all areas of the ERP in order to give you information in which to base important decisions. So basically, the ERP should be pulling information from every department or aspect of your business, and you should be able to see that all at once. And last is the eye in the sky. So you should be able to have a complete and total view over the movement of your company minute by minute, depending on what's happening. So the more aspects of the business, the more areas and departments of your business that are using the ERP system, the better. So just to review our goals, I hope this gave you some insight on how to review your current system as well as what to look for in your research of modern ERP. When you're informed, you can obviously make some better decisions and you don't have to settle. So at this time, I'm going to hand the presentation over to our partner, Tony Brown from EG Industries. He can give you a little bit more insight as far as how an ERP system improved their day-to-day operations.
Welcome, everybody. My name's Tony Brown. I'm from EG Industries. We're a Tier 1, Tier 2 automotive supplier. We also create, manufacture medical devices and industrial, and starting to get into retail and distribution as well. So we specialize in, our core competency is injection molding. We do some coating, chrome plating, assembly, packaging technologies supported by R&D. Our locations, we're basically North American based. We have a facility in Stratford, Ontario. It's manufacturing for primarily Honda, and we also have a lot of the medical in our southern facilities also, and then Ormond Beach, Florida has been our last ERP implementation that we completed just last year. The mantra for modern ERP, one of the biggest struggles as we have implemented Plex in 9 different facilities, is transforming our company as an associate-driven company to a process-driven company and extracting the tribal knowledge. So benefits that we've experienced from modern ERP. Allowing us to automate most of the input that comes into our system. So basically, being cloud-based, we are able to leverage the cloud-based integration with the customer demand, the releases, production planning, heavily utilizing that and not having third-party solutions or snap-on modules onto our old existing ERP legacy system, where the cloud-based was an all-in-one solution, really helped us balance and level load our fluctuations of demand and inventory levels. Utilizing supplier EDI as a continuous improvement activity, we're continuing to drive. One of our facilities is up to 80% of their supply base is strictly EDI, so as they manufacture or send product that is going to go through pass-through or assembly or whatever that raw material may be, we receive the ASN from them, and it becomes their label, becomes our inventory, all integrated through the cloud. Very seamless, and huge efficiency improvement and back office transactional improvement. And then improving our overall value stream in the supply chain, like I was kind of talking about with a lot of those integrations with the planning pieces, and reducing the fluctuations of orders and inventory levels, and reducing those and keeping things quiet, so we term it as a lot less firefighting. And this is possible obviously with clean customer demand that I talked about earlier, being tied directly to the shop floor inventory levels in real time, so from front door to back door, all integrated on the cloud, as Jennifer did a very nice job of describing the benefits of cloud-based ERP. We're seeing that from front door to back door. And that's all I have.
Thank you both for participating today. I'll wait to see if we get a few questions here from anyone in the audience. If you have questions, go ahead and submit those. Tony, looks like a question for you. Where did you start the process when you looked at tackling this change to a cloud-based solution? Where did you start the process?
Obviously identified what our current gaps were, kind of our wish list, and what our key performance areas of our system were. So using our legacy systems, we probably had 4 different types of legacy systems in all of our plants, as some of them were through acquisitions. Identified our gaps, and then kind of had our wish list of what's our core competency, what do we need to succeed in. So we built an analysis tool in Excel around that would rate ERP softwares based upon the customers using them. So as we found a customer supply base using different ERP solutions that we were interested in, we scored the software in the analysis tool, and that's how we made our determination on figuring out which ERP software was going to fit our business needs the most. And it happened to be a cloud-based solution. So.
Okay, it looks like that's all of our questions. Thank you both again for presenting today. It was great information, and I'm sure very informative to our audience. I know I got a lot out of it. Like I said, we have recorded the session. I'll have it out on our website later on this afternoon, and so please feel free to share the information. And thank you everyone for attending. Have a great day.
Thanks. Take care.